So you've probably played around with AI like Gemini or Claude, right? You know how they have these built-in guardrails. They're designed to be helpful, to be safe, and they'll flat out refuse to do anything illegal. But what happens when you take an AI, you strip away all of those safety features, and you build it for one reason and one reason only, to cause harm? Well, let's get into it.
What we're seeing now is this really clear split. On one side, you've got the helpful AIs we use every day, the ones that are locked down with safety protocols. But on the other side, a kind of dark twin is starting to emerge, a malicious AI that's built from the ground up for criminals with absolutely no rules. And I'm not talking about some theoretical threat. This is the new, very dangerous reality in cybersecurity.
And believe me, the consequences are already here. Forget about trying to jailbreak the mainstream AIs. Cybercriminals are way past that. They're now building their very own malicious models from scratch. And these aren't just little experiments. These are fully operational tools, creating something experts have started calling the hacker's Copilot.
Research from the cybersecurity pros at Palo Alto Networks Unit 42 gives us this really chilling look inside this new criminal toolkit. These malicious AIs, they can write flawless, super convincing phishing emails. They can help build complex malware. And maybe the most unsettling part, they act as a step-by-step guide, basically turning a total beginner into a pretty serious threat.
This quote, this really just nails the problem. The barrier to entry for serious cybercrime, it's completely collapsing. You don't have to be some expert coder anymore to create really damaging malware or to launch a sophisticated phishing campaign. Nope. All you need is access to the right malicious AI.
So that leads to the big question, right? Why are criminals even bothering to create these tools? Well, the motivation is actually really simple and incredibly powerful. It really all comes down to control and pure capability. By building their own AIs, they completely sidestep all the safety features. They can feed these models a diet of stolen code, leaked data, and existing malware, basically teaching the AI to give explicit, detailed instructions for illegal acts and to automate all the boring grunt work that comes with hacking.
And this is the hacker Copilot in action. I want you to think of it like a massive force multiplier. It takes all the complicated, time-consuming work of cybercrime and essentially puts it on autopilot. This allows a single attacker to develop malware faster than ever, find vulnerabilities automatically, and launch attacks at a scale we've just never seen before.
Okay, so the threat is evolving, for sure, but our defenses can evolve right along with it. Look, you can't stop criminals from building these tools, but you can absolutely make yourself and your company a much, much harder target. So here's a practical plan to do exactly that. Let's break this down into 4 key actions. First, train your people to spot this new wave of AI-powered phishing. They're personalized, they're super convincing, and they don't have the classic typos and red flags we're used to. Second, you got to use advanced security tools that can actually identify and block these new threats. Third, and this is crucial, keep all your software updated. This closes the exact vulnerabilities these automated attacks are looking for. And finally, harden all of your access points with multi-factor authentication. Seriously, even if a password gets stolen, MFA is that final lock on the door that can keep the attackers out.
You know, the big takeaway here is this. We're in a brand new era of cybersecurity. AI is now an incredibly powerful weapon, and it's being used by both the attackers and the defenders. In this new reality, having a strong, proactive defense isn't just a good idea, it is absolutely essential.
At the end of the day, it really comes down to this. The threat from malicious AI is very, very real, and it's only going to get bigger. But these systems are not invincible. Smart, modern security habits and keeping your protections up to date, that is your best strategy for staying one step ahead of the game. So this leaves us with one critical question. As attackers are upgrading their entire arsenal with these AI copilots, you really have to ask yourself, is your defense ready for the age of AI? Thanks for joining this explainer.